Time Hunter, The Clockwork Woman by Claire Bott. Read by Tracy Childs. The man and the girl walk through the streets, jostled by the passing crowds. They do not speak, knowing each other well enough to be comfortable with silence. It is a day like any other. And yet, something is wrong. The man feels a faint sense of unease, an implacable disquiet. He twists his head from side to side, trying to find its source. There, that woman, the one in the blue coat, her life feels wrong, different. The girl is looking up at him now, confused by his behavior. "Honoré?" she asks. Then again, "Honoré, what's the matter?" He shakes his head as though trying to clear it. "Her life," he mutters. "It's the wrong shape, Emily. The wrong shape." The woman turns as though she has heard him, looks him in the face, seems startled as if she recognizes him, opens her mouth to speak. And her life rushes into his head like an express train, all muddled, far too long, and the wrong shape. He stumbles, catches the girl's hand. Time slip. When I hold my hand close to my ear and move my fingers, I can hear the whirring of tiny cogs. My eyes are enamel and ivory overlaid on steel. My skin is carefully painted silk. I am, in short, a mechanical woman, cunningly made and perfect in every detail. For a long time, I did not think there was anything strange in this. After all, I was surrounded by similar mechanical contraptions. The squat, androgynous maid who dressed me in the mornings, the housekeeper who squatted in its bare, empty room and could be communicated with through the speaking tubes in the corridors, and, of course, the attack dogs. I was just one of these marvellous contraptions, set aside from them only by being the most extraordinary, the finest and most exquisitely made. I knew this was so because Sir Edward Fanshawe had told me it was. Sir Edward would come to me from time to time, undress me or tell me to undress myself, and require me to perform certain acts. I would comply, deftly, competently, and without any emotional or physical sensation at all. I have no sense of touch, you see. Sir Edward did not think it necessary to provide me with one. Afterwards he would lie beside me, stroking my long, dark hair that had been bought in a shop and attached to my head with strong glue, and murmur how marvellous I was, the greatest of all his creations, bar none. When Sir Edward was otherwise engaged, in his workshop or his library or tinkering with the glider up on the roof, I would usually sit in one of the window seats and stare blankly at the view, or pace the corridors, my skirts swishing quietly along the carpet. I cannot say I was unhappy, but neither was I happy, nor angry, nor restless, nor fulfilled. I simply was. I suppose I must have felt contentment, for certainly I made no attempt to change my life. I remember the day it all changed, the day the strangers came. I was in the library with Sir Edward, relacing my bodice and adjusting the disarray of my hair, when the speaking tube above the doorway coughed into life. "The attack dogs have captured intruders, Sir Edward," reported the gruff voice of the housekeeper. "What should be done with them?" Sir Edward sat bolt upright. "Have them brought here," he snapped. "I shall deal with them personally." He was furious, I could see, and with reason. Had he not told me many times that he had secluded himself in his family's ancestral home precisely to avoid the impertinent attentions of the kind of ill-educated numbskulls who had once plagued his youth? And so far his efforts had been successful. So much so, in fact, that I had never seen any living human but him. When the attack dogs, walking on their hind legs with their claws extended to grip the intruders by the arms, brought them in, I looked at them with interest. There were two of them, a tall, dark-skinned man in a long leather coat, and a slim, frail-looking, dark-haired girl. That was amazing in itself. I had not been aware there were men who were not Sir Edward, or women who were not me. But the thing that made my cogs whir a little faster was not that. It was the evident fact that these two had no cogs at all. I listened intently when the attack dogs marched them in, but I could hear not the faintest sound of machinery that didn't come from the dogs themselves, and I knew their sounds well enough after many years. They were people of skin and bone and muscle and blood, like Sir Edward was. Until I saw them, I had thought, if I thought at all, that Sir Edward was the only non-mechanical person in all the world.